All right, doing another one of the Homeric Rhapsody things. So the concept here is to uphold the ancient tradition of oral storytelling, which is to say that I'm not necessarily trying to kind of like retell the Iliad word for word like an actor would do on stage, nor am I necessarily trying to create something entirely new, but this mode of storytelling which was around before writing was invented, which is to say that you use the stories that are passed on to you and assemble them however you can recall and do it on the spot in a sort of performative way, and wherever needed to just make stuff up or put pieces in that'll make everything fit together as best you can. I'm not very good at it yet, but I'm still, trying it. So let's keep going. Sing, goddess, of that terrible battle which broke out between the Achaeans and the Trojan host. They had been fighting on the plains, and Hector and his men were ravaging through the Achaeans, and the Achaeans were cutting through Trojans like a hot blade. None rejoiced, none were happy in that battle. All were sorrowing and were begging for their lives, even those who still lived. And it came in the form of inspiration to Tydeus' son, Diomedes, the great goddess Athena of the gray eyes, had come as inspiration into his mind to bring unto him a glory and a terrible splendor, for him to cause mayhem among the Trojans. Diomedes had pulled his chariot up across from two sons of Amintor, who had begged his children not to leave for that war of Troy to help the city in their great struggle. But they had snuck out, disobeying his order, and joined the forces to bring glory and honor to their father and to their name. Diomedes saw these two brothers, and he came up in front of them, casting the spear, and he struck through the jaw of the one, Clytius, whose head and jaw had been hanging off as that spear went straight through his bone and his teeth. The other saw what had occurred, and he tried to wheel the chariot round and escape that madness. But he received a spear directly in the back as he was fleeing and attempting to get away. Then Diomedes came to Maston, who he saw across the plain, and he left his chariot and saw the man and sighted him, and he cast another dark-shadowed spear, which struck him straight through the chest. That spear was not quivering, was not ended in its thirst for blood even then, as it had gone through Mastor's chest and straight into the arm of another Trojan warrior, of Hector's group, Clytion, who had gotten the spear straight through the bicep, and it cut through the tendons and the ligaments, and his arm fell limp beside him, the blood gushing forth. Not long was he for this world, as before his men could do any sort of first aid on him, darkness overshadowed his eyes, and he was to fall onto the plain in a heap. And such was only the beginning of that great battle fury of Tydeus' son on that day before the gates of Troy. All right, didn't have a lot of time for this one. Well, shadow's really weird there. And not very compelling in terms of the storytelling of it or the rhythm of it. You know, there'll always be days like that. It's also pretty tough to do the battle scenes as I expected, but you know, keep trying it. There's at least some kind of like a, you know, an arc to the Diomedes section which occurs in this part. So I think a lot of it is just going to be about making up pieces between the major story points. You know, the part where he fights Aphrodite and the parts where he's I can't even remember if it's in this book or not, where he like saves Nestor and all the other stuff. So we'll see if we can do some of that, but you know, not so bad. The project we're doing this for is the game that I'm working on, where I want to be able to kind of like more naturally write some of this Homeric stuff off the top of my head, which is why I'm kind of trying to go for this oral storytelling tradition, which I think is also kind of rewarding in its own right. It's just a fun thing to do. So let's keep going with it.